Any Small Goodness, Chapter 1. American Names. I have fallen in love with American names, the sharp names that never get fat. From American Names by Stephen Vincent Benet. My name's Arturo, Turo for short, for my father and my grandfather and his father, back and back. Arturo's like stacks of strong adobe bricks, forever, my grandmother says. Really, my name was Arturo. Here's why. 3 years ago, our family came up from Mexico to LA. From stories they'd heard, my parents were worried for our safety in that hard-as-a-fist Los Angeles. But Papi needed better work. Rosa, my little sister, wailed. United States. No, too dark. My brother Luis and I pretty much clammed up. I guess numbed by the thought of leaving our home and a little scared, too, about the tough barrio. Like some random wind-blown weeds, we landed in LA, home to movie stars and crazy movie stars. Luckily, I had some English when I got here. It's good to have English in your pocket, my parents pressed us always. Por las cochinas dudas. For the dirty doubts, that is. Just in case. So for the dirty doubts, we've got all a little English. In school, I get Miss Pringle. Miss Pringle's okay, I guess. But if scientists studied her brain, I bet they'd find it to be a large percentage of air. She's always kind of floating where she goes and talking in a bright and airy way. My friend Raul says she's got an excessive sparkle. Raul loves weird words. Anyway, first day of school, Miss Pringle, all chipper and bearing a rubbery dolphin smile, says, "Class, this is Arthur Rodriguez." Probably to make things easier on herself. Without asking, "Ya estuvo." Like a used-up word on the chalkboard, Arturo's erased. Who cares? Not me. With such a name as Arthur, I'll fit in at this school real well. Like a pair of chewed-up Nikes, not stiff and stumblingly new. American names are cool. Frank, Mike, Jake. They sound sharp as nails shot from guns. I'm not the only one who's been gringoized. There's Jaime and Alicia and Raul. Presto changeo, with one breath of teacher magic. They're James and Alice and Ralph. Our friend Lloyd, alias Ratnose, is already a gringo, so his name's untouchable. When we're together, we joke about our new names. So, mano, Raul says with bravura, another one of his words. How's it feel to be Arthur, like a round table guy? Muy cool. I slip into a full pocho, an English-Spanish mix. Hey, Alice, I say. Yeah? Seen Alicia? She scans the hall, digs in her backpack. No, man, she's gone. We all laugh, but I notice Alicia's eyes like two dark and hurting bruises. I fluff it off, easy as dandruff flakes in a TV ad. My parents hate that I'm Arthur. I mean totally H-A-T-E. I can tell because when I break this news, my mother starts cooking excessively. Her way of organizing the world. My father goes carefully quiet. Most parents I know would spit out choice curses if their children chose names that hurt their ears, maybe even smack them. Not mine. Mommy and Papi are like two soft doves. They work on a policy of gentleness. They've never touched us in anger, never talked severely, so their silent dissatisfaction hits harder than the sting of slaps. Tough tortillas, I'm going gringo. Who hates my name most is my abuelita. Grandmother always dresses in cricket black, in luto for my grandfather who died. She's 80-something, so old her skin looks like it's woven from brown cobwebs. She's got 2 braids wound so high on her head, they must have been growing during her whole life. Unlike my parents, Abuelita's no dove. Like a little fighting rooster, she's got bravura to spare. Even though she's feisty, God guides her life. She closes most conversation with an afterbreath of Dios mediante, God willing. Since grandfather died, she lives with us. She came all the way from Aguascalientes, Mexico, on a norteño bus with only her prayer book, a photograph of grandfather, and her molcajete. A molcajete is a 3-legged grinding stone carved of lava spit from an old volcano. It's hollowed and pitted, like a cupped hand scarred with acne. Abuelita uses it to grind chiles, for salsa and stuff. Takes longer than forever, geez. She could do it with one zip of the blender switch. If that lava lump was mine, I'd chuck it out. This name Arthur, it burns my ears like poison. Since my Spanish is a little crippled from pouring the English on, Abuelita hisses her English to be sure I can't escape her point. Muele, muele, muele. She grinds her disfavor into me at every chance. The heat of peppers fills her voice as she pulverizes chiles for extra vigorously for some tasty Mexican dish. If my new name were a chili pepper, she'd pulverize that too. At every chance, she turns Arturo on her tongue like a pearl. What does she know, this thin as an eyelash old woman from Hot Waters, Mexico? Man, this is L.A. To get by, you need American names. Apart from problems of names, here there are problems of gangs, like those saber-toothed tigers in pits of tar. Kids get sucked into them for protection from invaders from other areas, or to have a place to go or something to do. Even some old guys, fathers with kids, are gang members. My father's the kind of person who removes his hat in a restaurant and blesses his plate of tacos. Not prime gang material. I hope I'm not either. Though the pull at school is pretty strong, I keep looking for something else to do. My friends live on my block. All the time they come over to hang out in Abuelita's kitchen. They're there now, dragged by their noses, by pure power of chili dust and the tang of cilantro. When they enter, she pinches their cheeks and claims they are muchachos muy lindos, and calls them by their true names, Jaime, Alicia, Raul. Hola, Lloyd. She aims a dripping spoon straight for Ratnose. You love menudo? You taste. Abuelita speaks with such excessive bravura, each name scrapes my mind like the scritching claws of a feisty rooster. Geez, I say to myself, cringing with shame, but my friends seem totally unfazed, even pleased. Raul's got a heart tattoo, not real, just inked on. It's so big, it blues his muscle. Grinning, he pumps his tattoo for Abuelita. Caray, don't they remember? We peeled off those old names like onion skins. Still a worm of doubt squirms in my mind. My friends slump themselves over the arms of chairs like over crooked noodles and chat easily with my grandmother. Alice's eyes, at the sound of her real name, they flame up, bright with excessive sparkle. Por please. Around this time we have our first run-in with the police. Really, Mommy does. In our yard we've got trees, so we've got ducaches, possums. Mommy's a calm one, except when it comes to these. Personally, I like them with their glass-bead eyes and little pink snouts. But some people have got a dread of snakes. Mommy's got possum pavor. She's convinced they'll give her... Tlauchazos, big possum hits when she takes the garbage out at night. Once when Poppy's on a sales trip, she has this crisis. At 4 a.m., something's rattling outside, a garbage can. From her experience with garbage and LA wildlife, Mommy immediately knows what this is. She can't sleep from the sounds, but she can't touch a full can of possums either, so she calls 911. Possums, possums, she screams into the phone. Apaches, ma'am? Possums, as if louder will make this come clear. Someone must ask what she's talking about, because she says, send someone now who speaks English. We're all waiting when 5 police came, armed for a world war. They dump the poor, dazed-out possum from the garbage drum and severely tell Mommy about using the 911 code, set up for emergencies only. Then they leave. Mommy's still convinced of the wrong of this. For her, it's a textbook case of 911. To this day, she huffs, what do polices know in their blue uniforms? One night, I'm struggling with geography homework, trying to map out where Marco Polo went. Hijos, did that guy get around? His route looks like some bad knitter's tangled yarn, like my sister Rosas when she's trying to learn. Through the blinds, my room's banded with moon. Everything's quiet. Even the crickets are sleeping. Then I hear something, mumbling, coming from Abuelita's room. Our rooms are back to back, like when you check your size against someone else. My room's painted white, but Abue's, it's totally Mexican pink, the color she believes the Mexican flag should be. Her walls dance with calacas, skeletons of all sizes and materials. Clay, wood, wire, paper mache. Abue thumbs her nose at death. Abuelita's talking to grandfather, muttering to the ghost of his photograph, I bet. Arturo, she says, holding that word in her mouth gently, like a highly breakable egg. She speaks Spanish only. He's a good boy, Arturo. Just a little bit mixed up. One day, Dios mediante, he will recognize how good is your name. One day he will know what it means, Arturo. He is me, he is you, and all before, and all to come. I hear a long, moist sigh then, like the breath of a tired tea kettle. I hear tears glaze her voice. I feel a blaze of embarrassment to be listening in on their private conversation. My heart feels squeezed out. Abuelita has known all along what I should have known. It's okay to be Arturo. What a menso head I am. Un idiota de primera. To give up my name, it's to give up my family. To let myself, all of us, be erased to chalkboard dust. In this moment, my history holds me like a warm sarape. I feel tears come. In this moment, I want to hug Abuelita. I look out my window at the half moon like a perfectly broken button. It's late, but I call my friends anyhow. Por please, I joke, come over. Ahora? Now, ahorita. And they come, Ralph and Alice and James and Ratnose, all expectant and wondering what in diablos is going on. Before any of them can wedge a word in, I blurt, we're taking back our names. We don't, we're borrados. Blotted out. You mean Ratnose is dead, Ralph moans? Such an excelente and rodential name. Ratnose lives. We'll call ourselves whatever we want. But those teachers can't make us into someone new. Those teachers, they must be formal. They're pretty cool with that, especially Alice. Little stars blue in her eyes. Ralph's already itching for morning, he says, so he can apprise Miss Pringle. I itch to apprise my family, now snoring deeper than zombies, especially Abuelita. We make a pact, right there in her chili-laden kitchen, on the most Mexican thing around. One by one, we place our hands on Abuelita's mocajete, ugly as a pock-marked thug. In solemn ceremony, we retrieve our names, ourselves. Into the bold night air, we say with utmost bravura, Raul, Alicia, Jaime, Lloyd, Arturo. When we apprise her of our stand on names, Miss Pringle's pretty surprised, but she limps along with it. A result of the incident is that other kids go for their own name reclaimment. Not long after, they're selling t-shirts and plants and stuff at school to raise funds for a computer. I buy a little cactus, prickly to touch and with one red bloom. After school, I give it to Abuelita. Ta-ta, she laughs when I spring it from behind my back, and she hugs me with the gift between us, but somehow we don't get poked. Ay, Arturo, mi pequeño cactus. Abuelita exclaims, like I'm prickly sometimes but have a chance of flowers. Abuelita's prickly but full of goodness. As far as from gangbangers as Papi is, I wish I could be like her, getting people's names back for them, or something important like that. So far, I'm just hanging out, being like some weird LA weather report, prickly, with a chance of flowers.